Also, while we're talking about pigeons, I just want to shout out to how amazing their call is.
Is it? I don't really know the pigeon call. Oh, of course I do. If I was a villain, I did really like Catwoman Michelle Pfeiffer, and she does this great entrance where she just goes whoosh, 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 and like does all these backflips, and then she stops and then just goes meow.
They had to console me. Jade and her best friend had to console me. I was uncontrollable. I was belly sobbing like a baby. I love Coco with all my heart. This episode contains very strong language and adult themes. Welcome to this week's episode of Listen Bitch. And we have one here. This is Mimi, for those listening.
Oh yeah.
Mimi. She's a dog, obviously. Sorry, she's next to me. One of my rescues. And we're going to be talking about villains.
Right, well, welcome to Listen Bitch. You know that this is like my 154th episode of Miss Me, so maybe like my...
It's not enough.
61st of... No, that's not right. Anyway, we've done a lot of Listen Bitches. Really happy you're here. And don't come for me if I've got quite a lot of Disney 90s villains.
You clearly don't know enough about Jade then if you think that's something I can come for you for. I'm currently looking at a shelf dedicated to Disney characters.
Is that an image ruiner? Nah, that's quite sweet.
Yeah. And my mum hated Disney when I was a kid, so I didn't really watch much of it.
I bet Emma did. I bet Emma wasn't like, yeah, let's watch The Little Mermaid.
But then oddly, but we have a Walt Disney poster oddly because it was kind of like an old school Technicolor poster. It's kind of special. But
oh my God, I watched this document. I'll tell you in a minute. Let's start Listen Bitch. This isn't just me and Jordan chatting away, just gabbing the day away. We do it with you lot. So let's have today's first question for today's Listen Bitch.
Hi, Miquita and Jordan. My question is, what truly defines a villain? The choices and actions they take, or the way others interpret and label them?
Wow, succinct, to the point.
Yeah, that's a good question.
Yeah, it is a good question. I don't know whether I'm allowed to like name and shame people. Probably not.
You mean name and shame a villain?
Someone in real life that I have now realised...
Nasty Nick off of EastEnders.
No, but he was a great villain. EastEnders does a good villain, actually. But I was going to say Phil Mitchell, that's quite a narrative arc because he's not... But anyway, I was actually going to talk about Woody Allen. Woody Allen very publicly was accused of molesting his daughter Dylan and his ex-wife Mia Farrow. And he has always denied these allegations. I read too much about him. No, what I did is I watched the documentary. It's called Allen versus Farrow. They just go through the whole story and you hear his daughter explain in really graphic, specific detail. And it's really, really hard to turn away from it. And it fucked me, Jordan. Fucked me up. I was like, oh my God, I can't watch Woody Allen films anymore. And the worst thing about it is that this guy's asking about villains and like how they move. I think some of the greatest villains of fiction and real life are dancing in front of us. What do they say? In plain sight. Dancing in plain sight?
Hiding in plain sight?
Hiding in plain sight, exactly. Because what the documentary shows you is that Woody Allen has been telling us, whether he's in it or someone else is, with a really, really, really young girl. Like Manhattan, she's 17.
I actually haven't watched that.
Right, well, it's a fantastic film. And there's a whole other conversation about how you can enjoy people's work when they, they're a bad person or you believe them to be a bad. That's a whole other thing.
Big discussion.
But yes, I would say the moves they make are usually quite visible. And we choose to not see them unless it is like a Disney villain, and then they really are just being evil, quite obviously.
Yeah, I mean, look, writer directors. I had a whole thing with a flatmate of mine, old flatmate, about a director, Lars von Trier, who I think's a twat.
Oh,
because of something he wrote in a film, and my friend was like, oh, Jordan, you're being silly. It's a character. He's writing it from the character's perspective. I was like, no, motherfucker. I can tell the difference between someone writing a character's perspective and someone channeling their own perspective through a character. Like, come on.
Right.
It's and it's to do with balance, nuance, there being some form of argument, like critique, you know, if someone's just also like relevance to the fucking film. I mean, I could be more specific, but I don't want to bore people, but it's, yeah, look, it's, I hear you.
Can you enjoy Lars von Trier's work still?
No, fortunately, I don't think there's not been much good work recently. He did the Nymphomaniac films, which is the point at which I was like, this guy's an idiot.
Yeah. I found those films quite difficult.
They're just ridiculous. And then from that point, I was like, there's not really much for me to miss out on. I studied a bit of him when I was younger, but yeah, I wouldn't be running to a Lars von Trier film, I'll take it for sure.
But it made it really difficult for me, like me and Naima, like our version of being like really cozy is to watch a Woody Allen film. I used to watch Woody Allen films to go to sleep.
Just watch Curb Your Enthusiasm instead.
Oh, I love Curb Your Enthusiasm. He's not a villain. I fucking love him.
But it's that kind of like Jewish New York kind of humor. I don't know if he's a New Yorker, but
yeah. Well, he wrote Seinfeld.
Yeah. It's Larry David's the king.
Okay, I'll replace Woody Allen with Larry David. That's actually a really good replacement. Thank you.
Curb is brilliant.
That's really good.
And also the other version of that style of comedy too, which I found really enjoyable, is also Seth Rogen. I watched The Studio recently, and was like, damn, Seth Rogen is so funny. I forgot how funny he was, because actually some of those films that we grew up with, or
super bad and stuff, they've aged kind of badly. Just because honestly, I don't think people understand how far like Western metropolitan conversation has come on in the last decade in terms of gender and mental health and stuff. But yes, but I think they do something very clever. Anyway, we really have to stay on villains, and there's no villains in Knocked Up.
I didn't hear that question as being specifically about real life people, but it's quite fascinating when you've equated it to that. If I'm going to answer it purely through a fictional perspective, I know that for me, what makes a great villain on screen or in a book or wherever is if the audience can agree with their motives. That's when it becomes really tough. If you can agree with a villain's motives, then it becomes a complex character that ultimately does a bad thing. And that bad thing, by our metrics, apparently, is when we feel they've gone too far. I actually said some of this a little bit when I was on Miss Me with Lily a few weeks ago. I spoke quite passionately about why I get annoyed by cinematic heroes and actually empathize quite a lot with cinematic villains. Okay,
so let's finally just do Jafar.
Okay.
From Aladdin. Okay. So his narrative arc is he works for the Sultan. Sorry, why is this making me laugh? He works for the Sultan. I imagine.
Let's break it down.
He's a little. Let's fucking do this. He's a little dissatisfied with his role and wants more power. That's always where it gets a little. That always is kind of the narrative arc of a lot of Disney villains, Ursula included. But anyway, what he does in his need for more power is gets Aladdin kidnapped and thrown in a bag into the sea, hypnotizes the Sultan to do whatever he wants, and starts to like destroy the town of Agrabah. So that he can become the greatest, most powerful being of all time.
Yeah, he sounds awful.
But there's no real like, so that I can then give back to the community. No. It's power hungry. Yes. And I feel like that's quite a lazy place to always land on what a villain's motives is.
I don't think it's I don't think it's lazy. I just don't think I just, like, when I hear the question, makes a good villain? Like, that's a villain. And those villains exist, believe me. Like, okay. But I think perhaps it's more reflective of the human spirit to have a villain. Like, look, what I'd said, I don't want to repeat myself, but maybe I just will. But what I'd said before is, like Thanos, for example. I know you've not seen the Marvel films. In the Marvel films,
a lot of other people have.
You were building up to this warfare with this one villain called Thanos, but his motive is compelling. He believes that the universe has got to a point where there are too many civilizations fighting over scraps. And so he wants to gain these Infinity Stones, collect them up, and then he's going to do one click and half the universe will disappear. But this is where it gets a bit mad, right? Traditionally, I think you'd add a eugenics element, because then he's just a villain. Right, like if it was like, I'm going to take away all humans or all of a particular race or particular species, then you're like, oh, this is kind of. But he didn't. Thanos' one was totally random. Like it was like the click was completely random. So like anyone could get it. Like it is not. And then in order to gain the power to do the click, he had to sacrifice someone he genuinely loved.
Right.
And so he's actually heartbroken because he believes that his goal extends past his individual personal relationships.
So sacrifice.
It is, look, at the end of the day, you know, he's obviously is the villain, but the reason why I think many people watching those films would be like, damn, maybe I agree with Thanos. I mean, look, if you...
No, but that's great. No, but that's great writing though, isn't it?
If you take it apart, you could say you get all the stones and why don't you just click for there to be more resources? That would have made more sense. but I just think in principle, the fact that he was willing to sacrifice someone he loved, which isn't a good thing, but he's doing it for what he believes to be a purpose beyond his life. That's interesting.
Yeah, but a purpose greater than him.
Mm-hmm.
Let's have another question. You know what we should do? Let's have a fucking another question.
Hi, Miquita. Hi, Jordan. This is Iona and Sarah. We are from Southeast London, but we're currently vacationing in Miami. So we're sitting on the beach listening to your podcast. We just want to know, have you ever been portrayed as a villain in a real life scenario when in reality you were just trying to be the better person and help in the situation? Let us know. We look forward to hearing your response, hopefully. Bye.
Thanks, guys.
Yes, several times. Next question. Move on.
But wait, and the second part's true as well. It was because you were being some sort of martyr.
No, I wasn't being a martyr. Anyway, go on.
Because I had one and I wasn't being a martyr.
Go on.
I was like, yeah, I've talked about it before here.
Okay, what is it? Oh, your dog's here.
I was quite villainized by the papers and certain record labels when I was overheard calling Kesha a cunt in a hallway.
Yeah, but Miquita, I told you this the last time we were on. That isn't the only thing you did.
Okay, on a more general level, I feel like I was kind of villainized a few times in the press when I was really, really young, and I found it really upsetting. So it's not nice to be told that you're not a good person when you're really young, and you are, and
it's horrendous.
I found that really hard. And I was just trying to make good telly.
But telly, you know, like I've spoken I did Elizabeth Day's podcast, and I spoke about when I did The Island, that Bear Grylls show. Oh
yeah.
And they completely recontextualized an entire narrative to make me seem like this lazy person because I left early and they didn't like it. And I couldn't believe it because I thought it was a reputable show.
But in a weird way, do you think that was personal, or they just were like, we want this narrative?
They did it because I left early.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
So that was not a good experience doing The Islands.
No. I'd probably do well now because I'm more chill as a person now. I was very busy back then, and I like as a person, not even in my schedule. But it was just, I don't know, man. It was like I expected something different. I've spoken about it quite a lot, and also sometimes I'm like, if I talk about it, someone's gonna fucking watch it, and this is such a poor portrayal of me on an island.
Yes, let's not drive people.
In real life, I'm trying to think. I think that I have in my life been that person in friendships or otherwise who will say what I think is my honest opinion on something. Sometimes it's met with hostility, and you have to firm it.
Yeah,
I've been that person a few times because I just can't. I really don't like. Yes. People dancing around things, it actually kind of confuses me and makes me quite uncomfortable.
Yeah, but Jordan, you know that people have quite a lot of issues with the truth.
Yeah. And also I just get panicked that people don't make changes quick enough, and then they end up being even in more of a difficult situation in the future. But then that was also my own issue too. Like, listen, I need to be better I've had to learn as an adult, you know, about my own space and other people's boundaries, and I've got to let people just, you know, do their thing.
Yeah.
Next question, please.
Hi, Miquita and Jordan. If you were villains, what would your outfit look like?
What outfit would I be if I was a villain? Oh, well, I did really like Catwoman Michelle Pfeiffer in Batman. And she does this great entrance where she just goes whoosh, 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 and like does all these backflips, and then she stops and then just goes meow.
Yeah.
And my mom used to be
Iconic.
like, that's a bad bitch.
Yeah.
I loved Catwoman as a villain. I thought she was a bad man. And I liked her narrative arc because she is like a secretary. This is also quite a good villain story. When someone is like overlooked and then they have to become a villain to sort of be seen.
That's a very common villain arc. Yeah. Happens.
I like that one a lot. Being seen.
Can I just give a shout out to the Penguin series? Did you watch that?
No, but my mum did.
So the Genius of the Penguin series it was one of the first.
What was it on? Apple?
Sky.
Is it so good? I'm going to put that on my list.
It's phenomenal.
What's his history? How did he become all penguin-y?
Oh, well, he basically lived in a really rough neighborhood, and there was some kind of thing between his father and like a local gangster and his mum, and he was just kind of raised into a dodgy community.
But do they defigure him?
Yeah. He has there's some kind of like accident. I can't remember now, but there's a big accident that he survives. But listen, the main thing is, he is that person. He works for bad people. He figures the game out, and then he steps up. But this is what's interesting is we as the audience, I would say, are rooting for him for a lot of the series, which is kind of odd because he's going to become Batman's, nemesis. They in one choice.
I was going to say just because he's
he loses the entire audience in a good way. Like they build up this entire story, so he does one thing, and then all of us watching go, well, it's something wild.
Okay, that's good writing though, to make you love him that whole time.
Yeah, and suddenly we go, nah.
Shit, he's evil.
That's not our guy.
Yeah, it's not our guy.
That's not our guy, bro. I thought it was my guy. That's not my guy, bro.
Oh my God.
I'm swerving that.
Okay, interesting. I do think a villainous narrative arc can very often be a hell of a lot more interesting than a protagonist.
All
right, let's have another question.
No, sorry, I didn't get to say my fucking outfit, mate.
Sorry, I'm Catwoman. Who are you coming to the party as?
No, I'm not coming as a character. If I was... Listen, the question was... Jesus, Miquita, the question was... If you were a villain, what would your outfit be? Not what villain would you dress as to a party. But you can have Catwoman.
Point.
You can have Catwoman.
Okay, but that is a good point.
I'd be dressed in black tie.
I was just... now I'm with you, though.
Not like the penguin with the tails.
No.
But just that... is one of the most menacing get-ups ever. To this day, I can't get my head around the fact that men wear little bow ties with black suits. It scares me. I've been to charity events before, and I'm like, fuck all of you.
Why does it scare you?
Bruv, why are you wearing a bow tie? Like, who... Like, what is that?
It's formality.
It's like pasta. Yeah. I mean, it is a formality, but I get ties for some reason. I think
it's deeper than that. I feel like someone in a suit was dark to you in some way once, because it's not just...
because I've got a picture of me in a stupid fucking black tie suit when I'm a kid. I went to some fucker's birthday. I don't know. I just like... There's something... You know what it is for me? Is it's like those rooms, those black tie rooms, yeah, especially like... What are they called? Auctions.
Okay. Specifically auctions.
Yes. Because I have an early memory of being sent into some kind of, again, existential crisis. If all these people are rich enough to have these £1,000, like multiple £1,000 costing tuxedos, all these little things, it's a reflection. And you know what it is? It's a reflection of elitist affluence. And in these spaces, you're having to convince these fuckers to spend money on charity with gifts.
Yeah, so I guess that is an auction.
Just give the money to charity. What the fuck are you talking about? Why do you need to have like a one-off painting by this fucking, like war survivor? Just give the fucking money. I don't want to take down auctions as a concept because they do work.
That's very menacing that you would be a guy.
I have bought things in auctions before.
In formal dress, and then he's the villain. I think that's a nice twist. Because I hate, what scares me most in films is when...
What twist,
really
Miquita?
Like,
What's the twist of that? That's an immediate...
No, because I feel quite safe surrounded by people in formal attire. I'm like, nothing bad could happen here.
That's crazy. Miquita, if I walked into a room full of men in black tie with bow ties and they turned to look at me, I can't think of a greater sense of terror.
Really? See, I'd be like, nothing bad will happen here. Everyone's in a suit.
No.
Maybe this is my need to be submerged in the white establishment and your fear of it.
Yeah, perhaps. No, it's not even necessarily... Yeah, I don't know. That's a perfect moment for us to go to a break, isn't it, Keats?
Yeah, it really is, isn't it?
You can listen to every episode of Miss Me on BBC Sounds.
All 153 episodes, I think we've done now. And
Wow.
on episode 153, we talked about the art of the relationship and the art of hacking.
Hacking.
Hacking, not packing, hacking.
Hacking.
Hello, Miss Me viewers. I'm Anushka Matanda-Doughty, and I'm dropping in to tell you about my podcast, Fame Under Fire. When celebrities find themselves in the firing line, which is often, whether it's a lawsuit or a scandal, we are going to debunk, fact-check, interrogate, and answer your questions. So if you love being in the know about the latest celebrity stories and getting to the truth behind them, then I think you'll really enjoy Fame Under Fire. You can listen on BBC Sounds.
Welcome back to Listen, Bitch.
Welcome back.
Let's have another question, please. For this week's Listen, Bitch, the theme is villains.
Hi, Miquita and Jordan. It's Amy here from Leytonstone. Long-time listener, first-time messenger. My question about villains is just kind of, as a 38-year-old woman, I find myself thinking about the idea of the Disney villain and, who we, grew up with. And I, now that I'm older, relate more to those villains than the princesses. And my question is, were they really villains or just misunderstood women who looked a bit different, wanted power, were just going through the menopause, they were fighting for freedom, they were, slighted or bullied, and were seeking revenge? I don't know. What's your take? Thank you. Bye.
Free Ursula.
Great question.
Let's talk about it, Miss Disney.
Well, I'm just realising it's the entirety of the success of Wicked.
Yes.
Because it's giving a voice to the Wicked Witch of the West and giving us her story.
To the villain. Why the fuck are those people so pissed off?
Yeah, what did they go through?
Do you know what I mean?
Ursula is Titan's sister.
Sorry, I'll be honest to you. I just said Ursula because I can see a model of her here.
Have you never seen The Little Mermaid?
Maybe when I was like 8.
You haven't watched it again, just to be cozy at Christmas?
What, the new one?
No, the old one.
I don't watch Disney films to be cozy. I'm so sorry. Don't let Jade know I said this.
Yeah, so what do you do when she shoves on Aladdin?
I don't. She makes me watch ones that I haven't seen, and sometimes I'll just be like, yeah, I saw that, but I saw it for like 10 minutes when I was like 6 or something.
Yeah, let's not let her know you're lying. We don't want this to be...
No, I'm not lying. I'm not never lying. And also, I do watch them. For example, there's loads of Pixar films like that. I was turning my nose up at the whole game, the whole thing, and then I remember about a year or two into us being with each other, she was like, "You got to watch this film, Coco." Have you seen Coco?
Yes, I have seen it.
And I was like, "Fine, I watched Coco, silly Pixar film, whatever." Miquita,
you cried.
I was belly sobbing like a baby. It is about the love between a grandmother and her grandchildren. Oh my God. Mm-hmm. They had to console me. Jade and her best friend had to console me. I was uncontrollable. It is one of the most beautiful films I've ever seen. I love Coco with all my heart. No,
listen, don't fuck around. When Disney or Pixar, when they get it right, they know what we need to get to tap into deeper. And that's why they write great villains as well, because they know how to scare the little child in all of us.
Well, the genius of the Pixar stuff is there's actually not really villains. Like if you think about again,
yeah, that's true.
Inside Out 2, the villain in inverted commas is like anxiety, but it's not really, because you get to know why anxiety is the way they are.
But Disney built their fucking brand on villains.
Yeah, but go on, name me something. Let's walk through who the caller's talking about.
Well, actually, if you think about, oh my God, well, the Sleeping Beauty, before Wicked, or maybe it was around the same time, but Maleficent, have you seen what she goes through to become that angry witch?
Is that Angelina Jolie?
Yeah, she falls in love with this guy, and he essentially sort of rapes her by cutting, sawing off her wings, saws off her wings on her body.
I think we're moving into that space of understanding, though. You've named 2 films where it flipped it. Wicked, arguably one of the biggest existing stories out there. Also Penguin, like I say, that was kind of a big vibe switch for, that being considered one of the best hero series or anti-hero series. I think people are pushing more towards villain stories because we're starting to understand, I'm hoping, with our developed understanding of mental health and everything else that comes with it, trauma, blah, 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 that we're trying to integrate ourselves with that shadow side, man.
Yeah,
we
I
understand
think,
it.
I think also what maybe that everyone's done is like, according to like mirroring the time of when these films first came out, like, villain, the kind of archetypes of like villain, princess, troll was like just
mad.
the way the world was. It was like all very black and white. But now what we're talking about is empathy, aren't we really, Jordan? Like suddenly there was this way of talking about, trying to teach the world that they'd given all these villains to, actually, how do we feel for them? How do we look at their story and see what they've been through?
Yes, and also I think it's just the reality that morality is subjective, and we're trying to get our heads around that. Democratizing morality.
Democratizing morality. Can we call the episode that, please? That's very good.
Well, it is that, isn't it? And also, you know, again, once you start to pull back the layers, like the grounds on which we decide somebody is villainous are just often quite shallow. You know, they'll just be like, be ugly.
Yeah, good point.
You're like, look at that ugly person. They must be evil. Or like,
oh my God,
or they're turned,
that's so true.
or they're turned evil by the fact that the world treats them so badly for being ugly. It's like pigeons are vilified, aren't they? Pigeons, like people think pigeons are dirty, like vermin with wings, and they're literally not. They're beautiful. They're beautifully complex and incredibly intelligent birds with a really long history of being actually been deified by humans,
and part of our like literal communication strategies at one point.
Yes, there's one pigeon called Cher and Me who served in World War One, which was given French medals of honor for saving 121 soldiers after having been shot twice. It still delivered a message and returned home.
I'm just so pleased you know that, and then you could share it with us.
Yes, I'm obsessed with pigeons. There was a beautiful article written about pigeons the other day in The Guardian, and I was so buzzing. I think I must have messaged the guy. I don't know, or commented at least. I was over the moon. They're so misunderstood, and we just kick them.
Yeah, absolutely. And shoo them and spit at them.
And 260 million worldwide.
Yeah.
Probably one of the most successful bird and a species on the planet. Really intelligent, top 10, or maybe even top 5 smartest birds on the planet. Here's the real kicker. What is a dove?
A mottled pigeon? A clean white pigeon?
It's a white pigeon. Is a dove.
So what is it? Just a white pigeon?
Yes.
Just the pigeon breed that's white? No, stop. And look at their marketing campaign.
Look at how they're treated.
No, like literally. That's unbelievable. Talk about deified. Like,
also, while we're talking about pigeons,
dove.
I just want to shout out to how amazing their call is. I've said this on several podcasts. It's a banger, bruv.
Is it? I don't really know the pigeon call. Oh, of course I do. And thank God you do that so well, because we were going to have to find a pigeon noise. But Will, you don't push that button today, because Jordan can do an incredible pigeon. That was amazing. Really impressive. Okay, you asked for the final question.
Final question, please.
Hi, Miquita and Jordan. Right, villains. Which villain redemption arc would you actually believe? Like, if Jafar showed up with a therapy receipt and a podcast about growth, would you buy it, or is it giving manufactured apology video? Thanks.
Okay. Or is it giving manufactured apology video? No one's done Jafar's origin story. Who knows what Jafar went through? So I would believe any villain that expresses change and growth. I think we all deserve that space to change and grow, even Jafar. You know what I don't like? I don't like when they don't let the protagonist or the hero kill the villain. The villain slips. It's like, let him kill him. I'm not going to not love
that's very Game of Thrones.
Hero.
Yeah, we need vengeance. We need that sense of justice. We need the physical justice. But that's the morality thing. Like, I'm bigger than to take someone. No, motherfucker, if that person has done me wrong.
Yeah, right. For years, if this person has been hunting you for years to try and kill you, you're going to kill him. You're not going to go, I hope he trips.
There's only one way to deal with this. A fair trial. I'm the upholder of moral democracy, and you will live by my... Do you know what I mean? My favourite films is ones where they just go bang.
Do you know who's a great villain? Hook. I watched Hook the other day, which is obviously Peter Pan's story, but the film Hook. Tell me you've seen Hook.
Yeah, ages ago.
Oh my God. Okay, so maybe you're meant to send me stupid TikTok shit that you think I should see, and I'm meant to show you some bloody 90s films you missed.
In the BBC series Luther, arguably one of the best crime series of all time.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, the hesitance is killing me, but it's fine. The initial villain, Alice, played by Ruth Wilson, incredible character, goes from being the villain to the police accomplice on the basis she's a genius psychopath. The end of the first season, the villain of the series is unredeemable, right? He is in... I don't want to ruin it for anybody who's not seen it, but it is
Is he the guy that keeps... He's the one that keeps breaking into people's houses?
He breaks into one particular person's house and ends up doing something that leaves me with one of the saddest endings to an episode of a crime drama I've ever witnessed in my life. And Sia is singing over the top of it, and it's like really deep. And then Idris Elba just running down the street, and it's just really deep. And I loved it so much.
No, Luther fucked me up. That I've never been so scared. It's so scary.
Yeah. Okay. No, you're talking about the later series.
No, I'm talking about series 1 and 2.
The most satisfying thing in the end of 1 is the fact that Luther's trying to do up the police thing, like, we need to take this guy in, and Alice just fucking...
Does she? Yeah, exactly.
And the argument was, you know, it's more painful for that person to live with the reality of what they've done. The argument was that death is seen as a form of relief.
A get out.
But then she, with her psychopathic look, was like, no, there's nothing worse than death.
And which one do you agree with? Do you think a true villain should have to live and remember what they've done and live in that, we hope, remorse?
Weirdly, I think that both things... I know it sounds like a cop-out, but it's not. I believe in both things at the same time.
What was the actual question? I can't even remember. What was the question?
It was the actual question was the woman was joking about the idea of any villain doing like an apology.
Yeah.
That's what's cool nowadays, is to do like a... You know, listen, guys, I really messed up. I shouldn't have. I thought of maybe a funny person who could do an apology video, like some kind of ridiculous version of a villain, and it's escaped me. Who?
Okay, well,
who would? I just had it then. Oh my God, no.
It's okay. We don't need to end on a joke.
Oh, Sinners. Listen, just this isn't even a response to the question, but I just want to shove this in. The villains in Sinners were fucking brilliant. Shout out Jack O'Connell. What I loved the most about the villain in Sinners was the fact that they were nice. That's what people got to watch out for. Sometimes bullets smile. The whole thing was...
totally.
The vampires were like, guys, come join our community. We're free. We're at peace. Like, what the fuck? That's really fucking scary.
Yeah, that is really fucking scary. Okay, Jordan, you get on with your busy day. I'll get on with my busy day. The theme for next week's Listen Bitch is, I was going to say music or songs. Which one do you think?
That's the same fucking thing.
No, remember.
That's so vague.
You have to think about the years and years of Miss Me to come. We have to eke things out. So is it songs?
What kind of songs?
Well, it just can be like any song that's meant something to you for whatever reason. And then those songs, I listened to quite a lot of Desert Island Discs the other day. And I thought music is so evocative.
The power of music, I guess.
Yes, but that's basically...
just songs. I just feel like songs is... Okay, fine, songs. Go on then.
I'm just thinking maybe it should be like songs that changed you.
Life?
No, but
next week's Listen Bitches, breathing. Lyrics. Yeah, lyrics is quite good. Well, Lola Young just did a massive interview on CBS in America. It was amazing. And they asked her what got her into music, and she said it was A Case of You by Joni Mitchell. And it would be so beautiful. It would be so beautiful to be able to highlight the moments when lyrics have like... That's brilliant. I'm with you. The theme for next week's Listen Bitch is... lyrics. We got there in the end.
We got to the actual specification of what we wanted to talk about. That's bloody good. I like it. Send your questions to 08000 30 40 90, 08000 30 40 90. 90. Thanks, Jordan.
Thank you so much, everybody. This has been this week's Listen Bitch. I'm Jordan Stevens. That's Miquita Oliver.
Stop.
You got to come back and listen next week. Don't you miss out. Don't you guys miss a thing. Stay tuned. Back after the break.
Keep it locked. No. I just want to say, for next week's Listen Bitch, can people please tell us what they had for dinner the night before? I always want to know where people live, like be specific. I live in a top floor flat. I live in a farmhouse. But could you also let us know what you had for dinner the night before? I think this can be really yummy. I want to hear about everyone eating. Okay, we'll see you next week. Bye, Jordan. I'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.